Out of here.
A homeowner began hearing strange noises outside and soon noticed odd footprints scattered all around the property.
We're now in the southwestern corner of the property. Allegedly, this is where the guy said he had the most activity. That remains to be seen. It's a little spooky, I guess. It's mostly just quiet. Apparently they're building a subdivision over that way. Huh. Oh. What the hell was that? Oh. Something walking. Oh, shh. Okay. All right. Okay.
Worried, the homeowner called someone to take a closer look at the property. The search led them to the southwestern edge of the land, an area where strange activity had been reported before. At first, everything seemed calm, almost too calm. Nothing appeared out of place except for some signs of nearby construction for a new housing development. Then suddenly something moved in the distance. From between the trees, a massive figure emerged, tall, broad, and covered in dark fur. Its glowing red eyes locked directly onto the observer. The sight was shocking, nothing like what anyone would expect to see on private property. The question that still lingers is whether this video was staged just for attention, or if the camera truly captured something mysterious wandering the land.
What you're seeing right now is footage of Frank being carried away by this massive, unknown creature, and his friend, Donald Kaboff's regret. Well, that wasn't uncovered until 10 years later by other hunters at the same exact spot. Hey everyone, after making so many curiosity-driven videos, I gotta tell you this story. This one is by far the creepiest, most terrifying one I've come across. So, Frank Chard and Donald Kabiff, they were close friends. Both of them were seasoned hunters. You know, the kind of guys who know the wild like the back of their hand. Every autumn and winter, they'd meet up and head out to Alberta's Nordic area to hunt. Now, Frank was a big-time selfie guy, always filming, always capturing every little moment of their hunts. And because of that, well, he ended up recording something that, frankly, no one expected. This happened at the end of 2013. Frank and Donald had set up a fixed time and place to meet. They were supposed to gather before dark, but, strangely, Donald never showed up. Worried and eager to find his friend, Frank decided to head out alone, driving his snowmobile deep into the forest. He was determined to find Donald, no matter what. In the darkness, Frank heard the distant call of an unknown creature. Frank thought it was his friend calling out to him. So, he responded.
Dawn. Dawn. Shit, man.
Soon, night fell. Maybe it was because of the freezing temperatures, but when Frank tried to restart the snowmobile, it just wouldn't start. For an experienced hunter like Frank, moving through the mountains and forests late at night was nothing out of the ordinary. To ensure his safety, carrying a firearm and signal flares was a must. Maybe that's why Frank felt confident enough to press forward in the dead of night. At this point, Frank could only carry the essential gear and move forward. But that sound, it kept following him. After searching for hours, Frank still hadn't found any sign of his friend. Unknowingly, he had ventured deeper into the forest. Then, an unsettling sight appeared through the camera. A severed head lay at Frank's feet. It seemed like this person had met a horrific end, possibly dismembered while still alive. Continuing forward, Frank noticed some broken tree branches and a makeshift wooden shelter. He paused, looking around carefully. After a moment, he saw a clump of brown fur caught on a branch. He hesitated for a second, then, without much thought, just tossed it aside onto the ground. It was clear the shelter was sturdy, built to last. Inside, Frank spotted something that made his heart race. A dead wolf, hanging from a branch. The wolf's front legs were ripped off, its insides gutted. It was clear this took a tremendous amount of strength. Hanging nearby was a deer's head, also upside down. The deer had clearly been torn apart in its life. Its fur was messy and sparse. Just then, an eerie howl echoed through the forest again. Realizing the danger was closing in, Frank quickly grabbed his gun, preparing to load it. But it seemed like it was too late. After a shot rang out, the monster lunged at Frank. These are the footage his camera captured. Frank seemed to be dragged along, walking helplessly by the creature. This is the footage captured by Frank's camera. It looks like he's being dragged along by the monster, walking, unable to escape. In the second video, Frank wakes up and finds himself in a dark, decaying nest. The floor is covered with rotting animal flesh and skeletons. It looks like the lair of a creature straight out of legend. Hanging from the wooden cracks are fur and bones of various animals. Next to him, there's a sturdy wooden bed, made by crossing and stacking branches and leaves. On that bed, Frank spots a creature with black fur, lying there. At this moment, Frank did something surprising. He grabbed his hunting knife. and cut off a piece of the beast's fur. He didn't stay long and quickly continued running down the mountain. It seems he was taken to the mountaintop, or somewhere on the slope, and this was the monster's nest. In the pitch-black darkness, Frank used a spotlight to search for a way to survive. While descending, Frank also found his bag, and from it, he retrieved the flare gun, firing a distress signal. On the way down the mountain, Frank was also startled by a deer. Frank's belief in the Bigfoot theory only grew stronger as he spent more time in the wilderness, piecing together what happened. He couldn't shake the feeling that something terrifying was lurking out there. As he ventured deeper into the forest, the silence grew more oppressive. Every crack of a twig, every rustle in the leaves, made him think that the creature was watching, waiting. The atmosphere in the woods felt alive, almost like it was holding its breath, ready to swallow anyone who dared to enter. Frank could feel his heart racing with every step. His instincts screamed at him to turn back, and yet, the more he searched, the less he understood. Why would the creature target Donald? Why was Frank still alive when others hadn't made it out? The only answer he had was that this forest, this place, held secrets, dark, hidden secrets, that had yet to be revealed. In the Columbia and Alberta provinces, which are two of the highest frequency areas for Bigfoot sightings, hunters typically bring plenty of food and equipment, planning to venture deep into the forests for days at a time. So, encounters with Bigfoot are not out of the question. These areas are home to massive, unknown creatures that use their upper limbs to tear apart their prey. They are carnivorous, capable of using tools for hunting, and they build tightly packed nests. Their method of disposing of prey is also brutal and straightforward. In fact, the two video clips we've seen are not the full footage. Some of the segments were edited before being uploaded, even after more than 10 years. The complete footage still hasn't been released on the internet. As for the authenticity of the event, I remain skeptical. While the footage seems to document what could be a Bigfoot nest, it never actually shows the creature itself. It's possible that the footage of Bigfoot was cut out. Secondly, Frank's behavior doesn't seem like something a normal person would do. After searching for his missing friend, instead of seeking help, he ventures alone into the heart of the forest. In the middle of the night, that's clearly not a wise decision. Third, if you were attacked by a giant creature and taken to its lair, what would your first instinct be? Of course, you'd want to escape, right? Yet, Frank, despite being in a terrifying, eerie environment, pulls out his camera first, surveys the surroundings, and only then proceeds to descend the mountain. Maybe it's just a habit of hunters, I suppose. I don't think Frank would have been bored enough to pull such a prank in the cold mountains at night. The temperature here can drop as low as -20 degrees Celsius. Moreover, due to the involvement of his friend Donald's disappearance, the full video has been sealed by the police, and these two clips were only recently made public. The video didn't bring him any traffic or revenue. In fact, I couldn't find any media accounts belonging to Frank on the internet. Apart from these two video clips, there's no further information about him. According to the uploader, Frank managed to escape that night, and his friend's remains were recently discovered by other hunters, who went into the mountains.
Chris Reinhardt and his team from the channel Real American Monsters went out to investigate Larry's woods. Not long into their search, they came across something strange.
This is a good sign that they're visiting here. This is the same print as we always find. So it looks a little bit bigger this time. Well, it actually starts here. It's a long skinny thing, so we're thinking female. Yeah, I just noticed that too. That could be knuckle marks. See it? Yep. Like this. Knuckle marks right there. Boom, 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 boom. 1 foot here. Knuckle marks there. That's cool. I never found knuckle marks before, but that's what those are. And up they go. Up and out.
As they moved deeper into the woods, they reached the gifting site, and there they found more footprints, fresh and clearly defined.
Yeah, she grew.
It said something.
12 and a half. 13.
Larry, am I moving the bucket for me?
6 and a half. Zoom in on it. Too much water. So about 13. 12 and a half, 13. Well, that was a failure. 6 and a half. Big time. Wide. So we're looking at oh, that's a good one. I don't know if that, yeah, there's a stick here. That's why it bounced back up. See, look at. So they stepped down in here. Here's the big toe. That's the same one as at your place, 12 inch, 12 and a half, 13 inches, the same one. Now the stride from heel to heel is 39 inches. So if it was me, this is the step I would be taking. I'm 6'2", you showing that?
Yep.
That would be the stride I'd take from this print to this print. You're not walking through the muck making these strides. So, those are my tracks over there. So, that was a good find there.
Determined to capture whatever was out there, they set up trail cameras all around the site. But the woods stayed silent.
With the trail cameras over the years, I mean, we worked so hard to get that interaction, and now it's just gone.
Was it just an animal passing through, or could something far more mysterious be roaming those woods? While hiking in the Great Smoky Mountains, a YouTuber captured a strange, wild sound echoing through the trees. It was loud, deep, and strangely mechanical. As he kept walking, the sound came again. Some people online were convinced it was something mysterious, while others said it was probably just a bull elk. But if you didn't know any better, hearing that sound in the middle of nowhere would shake you to your bones.